Welcome to the KTA board meeting. We do have a quorum, so we can actually do business today. The minutes from November. I'll take a motion, or
Motion to approve.
do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? No? Y'all are so easy. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. And we are also moving the new bit, the appeal of the denial of the taxi permit has been resolved, so we don't have that. And we're also moving old business to the staff report. So, and I don't have any report. Commissioners' comments. Look at y'all. Oh, there you go. I knew you'd say something. Always count on Dustin.
Are we on? Hello. I just want to remind everybody, I'm in the middle of working on and hopefully finalizing an idea that I'm very excited about, which is basically that in 2026 and moving forward, I'm trying to have a monthly day where it's basically ride with a commissioner on different bus routes that we would be publicly posted, obviously, so everybody is invited. And the goal would be that, ideally the same day of the month, so third Thursday, second Friday, whatever, for like 2 hours, we just ride routes, invite people to give us their input, what works, what doesn't work, what their hopes and dreams are, and then we just do that until we've ridden all the routes. So once I have kind of finalized that based on when I can make it at least, I'll let you all know. I'll probably just email John or Isaac or somebody to let you all know, and then I'm hoping and praying we can start that in January.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I don't know about the hopes and dreams part. That could be a little broad. Any other commissioner comments? Quiet bunch today. So, staff report.
Yes, I just have a couple updates, and I also want to talk about the service, excuse me, restoration plan. So in terms of updates, we will run Sunday service on Christmas Eve, and then we will be closed for Christmas and New Year's Day. So we will not be providing service on those 2 days. In terms of our hiring and training, we have 9 individuals in training right now. We have tested out 3, and we have 1 more to test out. Hopefully that'll be tomorrow. And then our next class starts on January 12th. So right now, in terms of the restoration plan, which I'm going to talk about, we are on the path of being able to restore service in March. So as our operator shortage improves, we plan on restoring service in phases, in 3 separate phases. And our priorities are based on high ridership routes, minimizing adverse impacts on low-income and minority communities, and then also ensuring riders have reliable access to essential transit service. I also want to emphasize, too, with this plan is, obviously, we will restore service as soon as we possibly can. So even with these potential dates, if we can restore service sooner, we obviously want to do that. So in talking about the plan, phase 1, we have a potential date of March 23rd of 2026. We will restore Route 12. That would go from 60-minute frequency to 30-minute service. And then Route 20, which would be restored from 60-minute service to 30-minute service. And then phase 2 is potentially May 4th, 2026. We'd restore Route 15 and Route 17. Route 15 service would be stored from 60 minutes to 30 minutes. And Route 17 will resume because right now it's currently suspended. And then in phase 3, potential date of May 18th, we restore Route 42 from currently 60 minutes to 30 minutes. So again, we're going to be reviewing this obviously weekly to ensure that we have the staff needed to provide the service. And this may accelerate beyond these potential dates if we can get back to having more staff, more operators. So any questions regarding the restoration plan?
I'd like to make a comment that this was something that we asked for when we voted last month, and I think y'all have done a great job, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Obviously, we want to exceed these potential dates again, so that's the goal. So we want to get service back as soon as possible.
I'm assuming since these are potential dates, that you don't plan to put out these like en routes or publicly or anything, just in case it changes. You don't want to throw people askew, but that like as soon as you do know, is it just typically, I guess, your social media and like on the bus, you will like put it on screens and stuff saying like, hey, service returns to normal next week or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
We plan on updating the KTA board as well, saying this is when we're restoring service. And we'll obviously keep you updated too on a monthly basis. At the next January meeting, we'll update you again, so. That's all I have for director comments.
Okay. Mr. Burt?
I don't have anything this month. In the beginning of the new year, I think we'll have a couple transit planning related things that may be of interest to you that I'll be bringing forward. But otherwise, I wish everyone a happy holiday.
Thank you so much. Moving on to new business. We need a KTA nominating committee. And I need 2 volunteers, and y'all can duke it out right now. John normally serves Mr. Lawhorn as the chair of that committee, so nominating.
So under the KTA
For-
bylaws, every December, the chair must appoint a nominating committee, which is to meet before, at least 7 days before the meeting in January, and nominate a slate of candidates for chair, vice chair, and recording secretary. Recording secretary is easy. That's going to be Brittany again, I promise you. And so I don't know what our situation is going to be for chair. I don't know if we've heard anything or I've heard anything officially on that. But I don't know what the positions are going to be. So the positions serve 1 year and can be, the same people can be nominated for a second term, or if they're open, we're nominating new people. The nominating committee will nominate 1 person for each position. Additional nominations can be made from the floor at the next meeting. So what will happen is I will get together with whoever else serves on the committee. The meeting must be a published open meeting, so we'll probably meet somewhere at the Transit Center and just get together. It usually takes about 15 to 30 minutes tops to go ahead and put a slate of nominees together.
Is that meeting before Christmas / the New Year, or is it early January?
It can be either, but I do not ever recall that meeting occurring before Christmas. So
Okay.
usually it's second, third week of January.
So now that you know the rules, do we have 2 volunteers or any volunteers?
I'll volunteer.
Ah, we got 1. Do we have another? Okay.
He spoke.
So he spoke, you're doing it, okay. No, you mess up, buddy. You open your mouth. So,
Nope, go for it. He
okay,
spoke.
sorry. So Zach, you open your mouth, you're in, and Allie's in. Sounds good to me. Y'all good? Okay. Yay, that was so easy. Just show up when John tells you to. That's all you got to do, right?
I'm assuming I'll hear from you, John. when
Yes,
you-
I will send an email to the both of you. We'll find some dates that work and work around your schedule. We can meet anywhere, but it is an open meeting, so I had a thought where this meeting ought to take place.
Lunch
I know
on
he
me.
owns Fred's around the corner, you know.
But given that it's an open meeting, so we probably ought to do that at the Transit Center, but we can adjourn somewhere else if need be, so.
Just a little plug for Fred's. So that was easy. We did public comments already? Wow.
Before we do public comments, can I ask one question?
No.
Oh, dang.
Oh, yes, you can. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
thanks.
You can.
I maybe have asked this before. This is for staff, but I'm just curious. When we look at the sheet for route performance, on-time performance, it seems from my memory that there's always a consistent, like as we go down the chart, that there's obviously routes that perform far worse than others. Not necessarily bad, but just not as efficient. Is there a rationale, in y'all's opinion, on why certain routes are not as on time? Does it have to do with like number of stoplights on the route? Is it physical infrastructure? Is it, we have maybe less drivers on the route? I'm just trying to understand that, like, what makes, Dandridge Avenue 80-some% on time and Sequoia Hills is under 75?
Yeah, I can let you, Mark, Claire, Quentin answer that question.
Primarily had to do with traffic congestion, primarily, yeah.
is that something that if we as a commission wanted, or you all as a staff, like wanted to try to tackle and solve, is that just as simple as like, we would need to, like, we could recommend, is it like just better road design? Is it like, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to figure out how, like, what power could we have as a commission to help make these routes more timely?
I will say that I know that city engineering is actively working on traffic prioritization. So along the corridors with Broadway, Chapman Highway, Magnolia, Kingston Pike, Sutherland, they are actively working on that. I think they actually have contracts too that I think they've approved. So
Could, would it be too much to ask in, doesn't have to be January, but in some future report, just to have a synopsis on like those routes that are being tackled, like what's being done to improve service, quality, not quality, but yeah, timing?
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Since you brought up the data charts, and I had completely forgotten about it till you mentioned, I want to make sure I'm reading the system performance and fixed ridership reports correctly, because when I look at this month, this year, last year on the performance report, and I look at the fixed route total passengers, and then when I look at the graph on the next page, the numbers aren't the same, and on one it looks like we're doing worse than last year, and then one it looks like we're doing better, and I just want to make sure I'm understanding both.
Are you looking at the 2019 ridership report and the 2025 November? Is that the one you're talking
No,
about?
I'm looking system performance report November 2025, and then the very next page is the colorful bar chart.
Yeah, I'll have that. You more answer that question.
In terms of the reduction in ridership, one issue that we may be having is some malfunction in some of our APC data. We have a third party that scrubs all of our data to give us accurate APC data. However, we have a theory that our APC data are not operating correctly or not being recalibrated efficiently. So we are tackling that issue, as well as, of course, some missed trips along certain routes during our manpower shortage may have an effect as well. But in general, I think compared to last year, there was a big push with Kta R. Reimagine. We ran a lot of free service. We had the operators during these last 3 months. We noticed that we were about 5% down overall compared from September of 24 to now, compared to, well, from December of 24 to September to December 25. So that could have something to do with it. We have issues, well, not necessarily issues, but we have introduced cashless systems that could have an effect. And then just the overall transit industry right now, ridership is low in terms of other competitive and operations. I don't need to say the name, but we know there's alternatives to transit now.
So it sounds like then the system performance report is the one that's the more reliable data. And the reason I was bringing it up was because the bar graph
Okay.
looks like it's
Okay, so let me
up year over
backtrack on
year.
everything else I said.
Okay.
The bar graphs come from raw data out of GMV.
Okay,
The system performance data comes from APC calibrated data.
which is the one that you're not sure.
Right.
Okay,
So with the APC data, we think we're actually under-reporting.
okay,
When we have malfunctions on our APCs, that means that there may be days where the APC's not capturing data. And so how it makes up for it, the system has to take 5 days and expand on that instead of taking 20 days of data and expanding on it.
so there's a chance that the bar graph may be more accurate and we might actually be,
Could
okay,
be, yeah.
that's good.
It could.
I'm a data person, so when I see discrepancies, I want to make sure I'm either reading the chart, reading the reports correctly, or there's just not some kind of bigger problem. So thank you for both the explanation and the clarification.
Yes, and we are right now working with a group out of UT called Hacks for Impact to help us streamline our data, our ridership data, our performance data, all our KTA reports is being built into a web-based model. So we probably can show that those bar graphs using the actual, because those bar graphs data actually come out of GMV, but we have a system where we're going to create those graphs to mimic the APC data. So that's going to change in the future as well.
Thank you for that, by the way. That was a very good question. I want to add to that. This might be too nitpicky, but on the bar graph, is it possible in the future? I'm not sure why the 2025 data only goes back a quarter. Is it possible in future reports to have the 2025 bar include the full calendar year as we pass those months? Like, I know it would be in past reports, but like, I think it would just be nice when we get to this time of the year to like be able to look at this one graph and say, okay, here's 25 and 24 for November, but if I wanted to look at 25 and 24 in May, well, you look at May and it's 2024, 2023. So I just think that would be helpful to have like the past 2 years and the current year on every month, if possible.
Again, that's actually tracking more so the fiscal year information, but it's supposed to show July. I'm not sure why this one isn't. But yes, it really just shows the current fiscal year.
Which for us starts July?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes.
Where could we see a full year at a glance?
We can create that. We can create that, yes.
Any more questions since we kind of backed up on the agenda a little bit? No, you're fine, you're fine. It's all good. If we're to public comments, Sharwin Snelson is the only person signed up to speak. But anybody else that wants to can. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have up to 5 minutes to speak. No, it's not on, sorry. Touched a little person.
Take two.
There you go, there you go.
Sharwin Snelson, 235 Carter Road, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37914. All right, we ready? Okay, so I was here at a meeting, I believe it was in July. It's the last time I was able to get out to a meeting. And of course, showing up today, some concerns, major concerns. I want to quickly recap some things I said in July that I'm looking forward to getting resolved about some discrepancies, especially with the lift. I mentioned that things happen time to time, we all get that. Once is an incident, twice is a coincidence, 3 is a pattern. Since then, I've had major issues, and I've reached out and sent emails last month and finally got a response Monday, as in this past week. Okay, so my email, if I may read it, is that permissible? I said, I'm reaching out to you seeking answers to issues with the lift. Firstly, I spoke to Brian McClure about recent problems with me being put in a cluster despite having a subscription. I also mentioned a concern from Wednesday, November 5th. I got picked up from Optimal Health West at 5:40 and dropped off at 7:15. The main reason was due to the fact that the driver dropped off Laura on Western Avenue, then had to backtrack 20 minutes to get Sherry as well as another passenger at Trader Joe's. Why didn't someone catch the problem? I called and texted Brian multiple times. He finally responded last Friday via text stating that he would call me back and that Zanetta Fenton would be taking Lyft inquiries moving forward. I don't appreciate being passed off to someone else when he was the first person I contacted. Tonight, November 19th, I finished up the chiropractor and called at 4:45 and spoke to Josh, the new Josh, to let him know that I'm ready to be picked up. 2 vans were in the area, but I was not placed on either one. I called back to speak to Zanetta. She stated that there were no vans that could get me earlier, which is quite odd considering there were 2 vans within 30 minutes of each other. I was finally picked up and headed to Walmart. The driver got on the radio and asked if he was supposed to wait 30 minutes with 2 people on board. He was told to follow his manifest. We arrived at Vanasdale at 6:33 and sat for 28 minutes waiting for the passenger. Where is the accountability? What is the problem? I said, board members need to be aware of these ridiculous and incessant issues. I'm requesting that you look into these concerns and let me know the outcome. I signed my name. Keep in mind, that was last month. So it doesn't get better. Tuesday, December 9th, I guess it was. I was on the van for 2 hours, picked up at 5 o'clock, dropped off at 7 o'clock. Last week, I called about the situation. I was put on hold for 40 minutes, 4-0. Not one person answered the phone, 4-0. This past Tuesday, I was late to work. Then Wednesday, last night, I was headed to Walmart after I got picked up. I just happened to look at the screen. We got there at 5:40. I was expected to wait 33 minutes for the next person. I happened to catch it and called it in, and the dispatcher was able to switch it and go ahead and take me home. My point being is, there's no accountability. Someone is dropping the ball with all these situations. Also, there are a lot of brand new people on the lift, which is fantastic. It gives you more riders or drivers. But unfortunately, a lot are struggling. I'm suggesting that they have some type of quick reference sheet, just like you do on the main line when there's a left-right sheet, so that they know how to operate that tablet, because that's the difference between someone being on time and being late. And we know how traffic is in West Knoxville. A matter of minutes is the difference between you being on time and being stuck in traffic forever.
1 minute, sir.
1 minute. Lastly, I would like to know really each person's role as far as who to contact, because a lot of times you get passed on from one person to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, and nothing gets resolved. So there has to be direct contact, whether it's email, extensions, where we can contact the people who can get things resolved, so we can all move in the right direction and stop fighting against one another and make this place work better. Thank you.
So there's a lot of people out there, or more than usual. Does anybody else want to speak, or are you just here for listening? No? Okay. Okay, I guess we'll set the next meeting for January 22nd, 2026. I think it says 25, 2026. And I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion.
Go home. Thank you so much.